Welcome to the second video for the Advanced Reporting class. This is going to cover the sign inspection report walkthrough. In our beginner and intermediate courses, we made a report which is a detail view report for signs. I'm here on sign number 4, and if I open reports, we can see the reports that we have made. I've already duplicated our intermediate example report and renamed it, and this is what that looks like. We are going to go ahead and continue working on this report for the advanced reporting content. I've already got the report open in my designer, so we'll go ahead and get started here. First thing we're going to do with this report is add a task table, so we're going to see the task information for our signs. I'm actually going to go ahead and take my inspection data, click on my inspection data container and hit delete and delete. That will remove out that inspection data for me. I'm going to move my attachment list down to make room for my new container. I'm going to go ahead and do insert, report container, and draw it in. I will choose table, and tasks is going to be my record set. The fields that I'm looking for are going to be the task ID, activity, actual start, actual stop, labor cost, equipment, material cost, other cost, and total cost. So I've got all my fields in the order that I want them, and I'm going to go ahead and say OK. Now when I save this report and refresh it for sign number 4, we'll now see the list of the tasks done on sign number 4. We're going to go ahead and hop in here and do some formatting on this. Going ahead and taking out the underscores on my labels. Alright, so we will go ahead and come over to the data line here. Now I'm going to do some special formatting on here. The formatting that I'm going to do is where we don't have actual start and actual stop dates. I'm actually going to put in the estimated start and estimated stop dates here so that I can see which one of these does not have actual start and stops. So I'm going to go ahead and on the data line select my task actual start. And I'm going to go ahead and remove it out. We're going to use an if, is, null, or empty statement. So I'm going to start by typing if, is, null, or empty. These are formulas within the designer. I'm going to do toString tasks.actual start date. I'm doing toString, of course, because my dates need to be converted to strings. The if and the is, null, or empty statements need to be applied to strings. I'm going to do comma, I'm going to do est colon space quote plus toString tasks estimated start date. And then I'm going to do comma, so my else will be toString tasks actual. So how this can be read is if the task actual start date is null or empty, put an output of the estimated colon space estimated start date, else the output is the actual start date. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and we'll apply the same thing to our actual stop date field. So we'll put that there. We're simply changing the word start to stop in this case. Choose our different fields here. I could also do something like Maybe for this one, I could do something like if is null or empty to string. I could do the if it's null or empty, do tasks.status, else to string tasks.actual stop date. So this one will show me the status versus the actual start date will show me the estimated start date. Let's go ahead and say OK there. We see how we have actual start date and then the status. Let's go ahead and say save, and let's refresh this. So we should see the estimated and the status, in each of those. So the estimated is, and our formatting's a little off here, but we have an estimated start date and a status where we don't have actual start and stops. This is a more of an advanced formatting thing that may prove very useful. It can be used in a lot of different ways. That was the if and the is null or empty statement. Let's go ahead and just do some formatting on this guy really quickly, making room for stuff. All right, let's go ahead and double click and set our costs here as currencies as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop over to the footer line and delete out my footer line and say OK there. So I've just formatted things a little bit nicer. We have some more room for things. Over here in my objects list, I'm actually going to go ahead and right click on my table tasks, and I'm going to append a sub element here. I'm going to put that inspection data back in as a sub element. So I'm going to choose table, and I'm going to go ahead and do tasks. I want to choose signs inspections as my record set. In this case, I'm looking for the inspection date. I'm going to pop into the labor folder and choose labor full name. I want the inspected OCI and inspected OCR. So pretty simple inspection data. While I'm doing this, I'm actually also going to apply a sort on my table of tasks. I'm going to go ahead and sort those by activity. Alright, so back into our sub element, which we just created here. I'm going to go ahead and save the report, and we can take a look at this. So now that we see we have a sub element on each one of, and we're actually moved into extra pages because of my attachments list down here, but we have sub elements under each task. Now we only want to see this information when the data is inspection. So you notice we see the headers and the footers even when the data is not an inspection. The way that we can hide these headers and footers is to put appearance conditions. So we'll come back in here and we'll go ahead and format our sub element. I'm going to pop over to the header line. Oops, this is the task. Let's open my sub element. I'm going to go ahead and remove the underscores here. On my header line. I'm going to pop over to my footer line and delete it. Back on my header line, I'm just going to select all of these and set the background color to Gainsborough. Can be any color of your choosing. I'm going to select line definition 1, and the top spacing is going to be 0.08 inches, just for a little gap. And I'm also going to choose the appearance condition and go ahead and choose formula. So this is where I'm going to say, show me this line only if what I set is true. Now this will be a simple one. This will be tasks.activity equals inspect. Oops, doing this in the wrong place. We need to come over to the condition here. So the condition is that the tasks.activity equals inspect. If that's true, we're going to do true, which will be show the line. If it's true, if it's not true, we're going to do false, which will be do not show the line. I can do insert, and this will be on the condition that the task activities inspect, show me this header line, else do not. This is also the same, this could be this, done the same way with an if statement. We're going to go ahead and say OK there, say OK. We're also going to scroll down here and set the, let's see, I'm going to double click, come back in here. All right, let's reopen our report designer. I'm not sure why that happened. We'll see what we lost here. Something to note that if the report designer does crash, you should end up with the ability to choose that auto recover option, and then it will pull up what it automatically saved. All right, so I believe we're okay. I'm just going to pop into this guy here and just set, I'm going to put like a 0.5 inch spacing on the left of each data line so that they're offset just a little bit, just like that. Go ahead and save this report here. All right. We'll refresh it in the designer and we should see that our headers go away for us. Oh, our appearance condition must not have saved. Let's pop back in here and rewrite that appearance condition. All right, so that's going to be on the condition that the tasks.activity equals inspect true or false. So where it's inspect, show me the line. Where it's not, don't show me the line. Give this guy a save and refresh it here. All right, so now we see that we've got a little bit of gap between each of these. We can go ahead and adjust that. The way that we do that is we set the, on the objects themselves, on the tasks themselves, they're going to have a default spacing of distance before and distance after on each table. We can go ahead and clear those out, put them to 0, and then if we refresh it, we should have our data close together for us. All right, so now the last thing that we want to do with this report is to go ahead, well, the last thing we want to do with the tables in this report is to go ahead and actually combine the attachment list table with our table right here so that everything is all in one object and it's easy to manage. I'm going to do just a tad bit of formatting here. I'm going to pop into my attachment list table and copy my header line definition 1. I'm going to pop into my tasks and I'm going to paste this guy in. Oops, don't do that. Undo. Cancel. Let's try this again. Copy. Paste. And just put it up here. So this will be task list. All right, so now that was just a little bit of formatting for me. Nothing too serious here. I'm going to go ahead and right click on my table tasks and choose append to subelement again. I'm going to choose table, and in this case I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's see, we should have, oops, I apologize, we're doing append an element, not append to subelement. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose signs attachments. The reason I do append an element versus a sub-element is that the sub-elements of table tasks are only record sets related to tasks. Elements are going to be record sets related to signs in this case. I'm going to go ahead and just choose a field here to get us started. I'm actually going to pop into this signs attachments table we already have and copy the line definitions into my new element so I can save myself all the work to format. Pop in here, copy the data line, pop back up here, copy the data line, and we'll take out the footer. So now these look exactly the same here, and then I can go ahead and select this object and do delete, delete, and I can click this guy and expand him out. So now we have all of our task inspection and attachment data all in the one report container. This is especially helpful when you're trying to deal with page break conditions and continuous data. So let's go ahead and refresh our report and see what it looks like. It shouldn't look too different in the case of this report. Nope, not very different at all, but it's helpful if you have a lot of record sets or a lot of data. All right. The next thing we're going to do here is we're going to format this condition, this estimated OCI field right here, to actually change color based on the OCI. This will use a nested if statement so that when the OCI is lower than 41, which is our minimum index, it'll be a specific color. When it's between 75 and 42, it'll be another color, and above green, above 75, it will be green. So I'm going to double click in here and open up this object. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, I actually want to double click on my text here, and this is actually going to be formatting on the color itself. So I'm going to font and I'm choosing color, and I'm going to choose formula here so we can do formulas on the color, which is what we'll do here. I'm going to go ahead and type if, and then it's going to be signs estimated OCI is less than or equal to 41, comma, LL color. These are just the standard colors in the system. Red. So I'm going to choose comma, and then I'm going to do another if. So this is our nested if statement. I'm going to use a function called num in range. So just is the number in the range. The number that I want it to look at is the signs estimated OCI. The range is 42 to 75. If it's that, I'm going to have it be LL color blue. Else, if it doesn't fit any of those options, so if it's above 75, it's going to be LL color green. And then 2 quotes to end. So this can be read, if the estimated OCI is less than or equal to 41, display the color in red. If it's between the range of 42 and 75, display it in blue. And if it is more than 75, show it in green. This is an example of a nested if, meaning there's the if statement and an if statement inside that. We're going to say okay, okay, save this guy. You'll see here it shows as blue because it's between 42 and 75. This asset itself is 33.45, so we should expect on this asset that the estimated OCI shows as red. And we do. Now if I come back and I look at my assets and I look for, let's see, an estimated OCI, this one is 80, so let's view this asset and run our report. We should see it in green, which we do. All right, that is all that we have for the Sign Inspection Advanced Report. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day.